Just know that you're never gonna have a box to pick when they ask you what race you are. It's like, are you black? Are you Asian? Are you white? Are you Latino? And then they have a whole list. And then other. Well, they don't let you select two. So I guess I gotta be other? I guess I'm an alien? Welcome to JoJo TV. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be talking about the problems of being a mixed kid. I'm gonna start off with what I am and experiences that I've experienced and then advice. So I am half black, half Filipino, Indian, and a little bit of Irish. My father is Filipino and my mother is black. I get a little bit Indian from my mom's side. And it's like the taddest bit of Irish on my dad's side. So I'm basically Filipino and black. The problem being mixed is you feel like you always have to choose between two races. And two, sometimes you don't look at race how other people look at race. So I'm gonna start off with my experience as a child. My first experience with race at all was when I was in, I think like the elementary school. Everybody like went around and said their race. I don't even know why that was a kid thing, but everybody was like, yeah, so all my friends were white at the time. And so they were like, yeah, I'm white. And then the other one was like, I'm white. So then it came around to me and they're like, Jordan, what are you? And I was like, well, I'm white too, right? Everybody's laughing at me and I'm like super embarrassed. They're like, you're black. I'm like, what? No, I'm not. I'm white. Like, you're like white, I'm white. And that was super confusing to me. It was super confusing. It was like, what the? Okay, anyways. It was mind-blowing. I remember being really sad that day. Long story short, when I got home, I went to my mom and I'm like, Mom, am I black, Mom? Am I black, Mom? And why am I black? And she's like, okay, sit down, let's have the conversation. My poor mom. And she was like, honey, you're black because I'm black. Your grandmother is black. You mix with other things too, but you're black because I'm black. So that makes you black. I was like, but dad's not black. And she's like, well, your dad is Filipino. And so we had this whole conversation. But the fact that I never viewed race by skin color. And that is another huge thing about being mixed. Like, people put prejudice on you based on what you look like. That's a huge problem with people, is just stop blurting out things that you don't have any idea about. Like, for one, I've gotten like, are you Mexican? Are you Hawaiian? Are you Indonesian? I've gotten so many different things. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's like, just ask, you know? When in doubt, don't guess. Actually, don't guess at all. I just think it can be disrespectful and it can just be very unthoughtful. And you may not even be trying to come off like that. It's best that you don't guess and you just ask, like, what are you mixed with? You know, you're very pretty and it's hard to tell. Or just something. Just don't be like, are you Chinese and black? Are you white and black? Are you some type of Asian and black? Like, you know, that sounds kind of rude. I take it pretty well because I get it all the time. However, though, some people don't. And so respect that you may not know what they are. And so just ask. If they get mad at the question, then at least you weren't inappropriate. So there's that. Background history with my family and race is I grew up around a very diverse family. And with that, my mom has a lot of white friends. And my mom's friends are very close to me and my family. My mom's friends are technically my aunts. I grew up calling them aunt. I didn't really know that we weren't blood related. You know, when you're a kid, you just think like that's your aunt. You don't question it. That's just your aunt. My family is very mixed. We have Filipino side, black family members. Then we have people that people are married to. Like, literally, when someone comes to my like a family event, they're like who is your family? Because it's like so many different races, and that's the thing. Everybody is my family. Like, it's just many different races. So that's how I grew up. I didn't really grow up kind of identifying people because that's what I was used to being around. It wasn't until I probably got to middle school that I really started to identify people in groups, and it made it kind of hard for me. I think like the first conversation was, or simple conversations like, oh, shut up, you can't relate. You're not even black like that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Like, what is that supposed to mean? I'm not black like that, but I'm black. Black like that? Nobody's black like that. What? That don't make no sense. You can't say you're not black like that. If you're black, you're black. Anyways, and obviously I can relate to some degree, or if I can't relate, I know someone in my family that can relate, so that makes it a relatable topic to me. So there's that. I just found myself trying to prove myself to these groups, like, yeah, I can relate, like, here's an example, and they're like, okay, you pass. But it's like, well, I always gotta pass the test. Why am I being tested? Maybe you need to be tested on ignorance, because what you just said was ignorant. Now, when I got to high school, things got real tricky, real twisty, real quick. So I've always been the type of person, I always like to make friends with all these different groups. I had my white friends, I had my black friends, I had my Asian friends, I had my Mexican friends. I literally was friends with too many people, just to put it like that. But it was fine. And then also too, I was in all these different sports. I was in swim, I was in cheer. I did track for a slight second. And I did all-star cheer, I did club swim, so I was literally exposed to a lot of diversity. I wasn't confused on what I was. I've always had a very strong personality, and that's always what helped me stay grounded. And I'll explain that later. So I kind of just got along with a lot of different groups, but I did find it really hard as I got older, until like the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, especially when it came to Filipino group. Because for me, obviously, I appear more black than I do Asian. That shit, it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay, I'm stupid, I'm corny. Anyways, some people appear more Asian than they do black, and we could easily be the same percentage. If you see my sisters, you may say they look more Asian than they do black, but I guess I appear more black than I do Asian to a lot of people. When I found myself around Filipino people in particular, they would just always question me. It was always like, you're not Filipino.
For real? Oh, really?
And I would like, yes, I am. My grandmother is full Filipino. My dad is Filipino. What do I have to... Why am I explaining this to you?
Wait a minute. Who are you?
And then I would be literally pulling out pictures, and I would show a picture of my dad. My dad is a darker Filipino, and they'd be like, is he Filipino? Then I show a picture of my grandparents, and they'd be like, oh my god, you're Filipino, oh my god. Or sometimes I'd be like, I found that a common ground with Filipino people is like the food. Like, yes, like my grandma cooks chicken adobo, pancit, lumpias, you name it. What is it? What's the duck called? Duck. I forgot, but it stinks and it's nasty. And my grandma cooked literally every Filipino dish, you name it, I know it. My grandma has always cooked it, and I always tore the food up because it was good. So if I wasn't trying to show pictures of my family, I was relating with food or with words. Like my favorite slur is ay nako. Like when they literally would be talking to me and I would have to prove myself, and they'd be like, oh my god, you are Filipino. I'd be like, ay nako. Only because I'm used to saying ay nako, but they thought I was like trying to prove something to them. So they're like, oh my god, you know Tagalog, like you know Tagalog. Like obviously I just told you I was half Filipino, so I do know the culture where my family comes from. And then it was just like they wouldn't accept me. It's like I would try to hang out with them, but they would have conversations amongst themselves and then try to include me, and it was just very I mean, it was just easier to relate with a lot of my black friends because they just get me. They really get me, and I feel like we grew up in similar lifestyles. I mean, people judge you based on what you look like. That's really what I'm getting across, and it's really hard. So for me, I wasn't treated like an Asian in my experience. I was treated like a black girl. So everybody black came up to me, was chilling with me. You know, Filipinos would always question if I was even Asian enough or even Asian at all. Me hanging out with black kids was my comfort, and it was just super relatable, super down to earth, and it just made sense. I still would get those, yeah, but you're a different kind of black, or let me touch your hair. I don't like that. I don't like that, because your hair, I don't get it. It blows my mind. Yes, your texture can be different based on what you are, but your hair doesn't define your race. It always blew my mind. That was my biggest, like, people will judge you based off your appearance. That was the struggle. That was just like to sum it all up. Let's just talk about how to get through it. And advice being mixed. I think the hardest thing is that people are always going to think you're lying about what you are, and you have nothing to prove to them. But also too, it does become hard, and you want to just be able to do things kids of your culture do. Like, I wanted to it's when you turn 18. Why can't I remember? I wanted a debut, but I knew it would be hard because, like, a lot of my black friends don't really get what that is. They don't even know what that is. It's like having a quinceañera for Latino girls when they turn 15, except for it's for Filipinos when they turn 18. And I was just kind of hurt because I really wanted one, but I knew, like, I never even brought it up to my parents. Like, I wanted one so bad. I even kind of, like, secretly planned for one, and I didn't do it because, like, what am I gonna do? Invite all my black friends that know nothing about it? And I easily could have, but I just, like, they don't get it, and it's just things like that you miss out on. But I think what helps you stay grounded is just knowing what you are, being educated on your heritage, and just being able to just create a sort of love for your heritage without having to feel the love from being accepted, if that makes sense. So I found my love in literally the foods, like coming across people, being able to have conversations about it, and it did help me when I got older. I was just a little bit more diverse than some people, and so I was able to have different conversations, understand different what is it called? Different perspectives from people, and it really did help. Like, especially when I got to college now. So I think a couple months ago, we have like a college center where, like, they help kids or minority students at UCLA, and minority is like a little percentage of, which is all the brown students, Mexican, black, Filipino, you name it, Pacific Islanders. They have all the clubs there. And so I tried to go to one of the Asian, I'm gonna just say clubs, one of the Asian clubs that helps you with academics. So I sat down with a girl, and she was like, oh, we have African American one too, right?
Why you asking all them questions, making statements? Assuming?
And I was like, yes, I know, I'm enrolled in that one, but I'm also Filipino, so I wanted to give this one a try too. She was like, oh, you're Filipino? You are? And I'm just like, yes, I am. And as you get older, you grow more of a harder shell. So I did become a little defensive, but I still kept it very mellow tone. And I didn't say yes, I am like that. I was like, yes, I am Filipino and black. I said I chose to be in this one because I'm Filipino, not just because I was just venturing off in different races trying to be who I'm not. And then so we went on about our conversation, and I think a topic of like, oh, so what's going on in school? And I said, technically this wasn't going on in school, but I used this to prove my point to her that what she did was wrong. And I've been doing that lately, like, teaching people in different ways instead of just saying, don't do that. Like, that's not okay. So when she said, like, what's been going on in school? And I said, it's been really hard for me to identify with groups here at UCLA because everybody wants to judge me based off of what I look like. I've had to deal with that in high school. I said, people would ask me what I am, and I would say Filipino. Like, oh, you don't look like it. Well, obviously I don't look like it because obviously the black gene was a little bit more dominant in me. And so I don't know why I have to explain that. I said in high school I used to have to show people pictures and and she was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry you have to go through that. Like, I totally didn't know. And it became more of an educational understanding thing. So my biggest advice for mixed kids, or just for people that have come across dealing with mixed kids, is just do not guess their race. You can simply ask. Please do not exclude them because you feel like they don't get you. People relate from experiences, not because of their race. Yes, in many cases you go through certain experiences because of your race, but that doesn't mean people can't understand you. And what I mean by that is, don't just exclude people because they're not the same race as you. Also too, you might just be missing out on a good friend, and if you're that kind of person where you just judge the person off their race, then maybe you don't need to be around them because you just missed out on a good friend. But anyways, That's for one, for other people. I think for mixed kids, my biggest advice is you really just have to stay grounded with who you are, and you don't always have to prove to other people who you are, what you are, and explain to them, because you're gonna start getting exhausted. Like, stop getting exhausted. Let people do them. And then what is another good piece of advice? I guess the hardest thing would be like trying to create the good friendships with people you want to create friends with. And just know that, like anybody else, it doesn't have to do with your race. Don't pick to hang out with these people because they are your race. You know, hang out with people because they're good people, and it'll be easier for you to get go through life that way. And also too, like, you don't have to always fit in. Like, it was good for me to hang around Filipino people, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll be my friends. That doesn't necessarily mean they're gonna understand me or welcome me. But I mean, you can be nice to them, they can be nice to you, but you don't have to make friends with that group. Don't feel obligated to make friends with people your race. Like, I have majority black friends, that's just how it happened, but I still did have many different friends. So don't make friends with people based off their race, because you don't like when people judge you on your race. So we are judging people off of personality and personality only. So just be friends with people because you see the good in them, they see the good in you, and that will like get you through your life. Don't even try to be friends with people that want to sit there and identify you, because if it's that important for them to identify you, you guys obviously don't have a common understanding. You guys already, that is just not, no. Like, if it's interesting to them, that's different. But if they're trying to identify you and you're telling them what, I just kind of like had some sparkles coming out of my mouth. If they're trying to identify you and you're telling them what you are, you don't need to do it. I just want to come back on here and say some funny things that people say to me throughout my life. I will get a lot of these. Is that all your hair? Yes. All of it's your hair? What the fuck did I just tell you? No, I'm just playing. I'm like, yes, all of it is my hair. Would you like to? No, you can't touch it. But you know what they'll do anyway? Just like, let me massage your scalp. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That gets me. That gets me. Don't just go in and touch my hair, especially not if you don't believe that it's not my hair and I just told you it was my hair. Another thing, outrageous things that I've heard is like, oh, I like your weave. I'm like, you like my what? I like your weave. Who are you talking to? You talking to me? Yeah, I like your weave. Like, are you complimenting something that doesn't exist? Like, do not compliment something that doesn't exist. I don't have a weave in my hair. If that's your way of saying that you don't think this is my real hair, I'll never tell you because you're wrong. And they're like, oh my god, that's all your hair? I didn't know. It looks so nice. I thought it was a weave. Like people aren't capable of having nice hair. Those are like the weirdest things I've heard. Or it's like, oh,
how do you get your hair like that? Like when I'm wearing my hair curly,
I put water in it.
You put water in your hair?
Yeah, doesn't everybody put water in their hair?
Like, what else? Water and what?
Like maybe some leave-in conditioner.
I know, but like, what did you do to your hair to get it like that? I like wet it. I put conditioner in it and like I combed it out. Like that's the texture of my hair.
You gotta walk away from it. You gotta stop answering stupid questions. And I hate to call them stupid, but they're stupid when they keep going. If they don't believe you the first time, give it up. If in their head they've already made up that it isn't your hair, that they don't understand, they can't process what you're about to tell them, give it up. Give it up. Do not explain yourself. Trust me, I'm not an explainer. So I walk away from you from a quick second and I start saying like little smart things like, is that your hair? Does your hair go like that? Like, don't you put water and leave-in conditioner in your hair? Okay then. I wouldn't recommend going about it like that. It's really not that serious. I get like real sarcastic like that. But if you don't know how to get sarcastic with people, just don't do it. And also too, some people don't take it the right way and it makes me laugh. I don't really care. I'm not mean, but like it's just funny like that they take it the wrong way, because I took it the wrong way when you said the wrong thing. Anyways, but yeah.
That's what really confuses them. When I'm that deep caramel, they're blown. They're like,
where are you from? Are you from an island that has no name?
yep, that's me. That's me. Like, they wouldn't understand how I got that dark, and they wouldn't understand that I can get light in the winter. So, like, in the summer, they'd be like, oh my god, you're so dark. Like, what are you? Like, I just really can't tell. That's when I would actually get the questions. People would guess when I'm lighter in the winter. And they'd be like,
yeah, you're like white and black. And I'm like, am I? You know? I'm glad you know, because I don't. Anyways, growing up with two cultures is literally amazing. I literally grew up with the best black food, the best Filipino food. My mom can even make Filipino food. And my dad knows all about black food, black culture. So, like, growing up with two cultures is literally amazing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Don't let anybody let you think that it's sad, because it isn't sad. I loved it. My sisters love it. My families love it. My brothers love it. My mom loves it. My dad loves it. We all love it. We're just like a big old happy family. Two cultures. It's like the best of both worlds. And until you realize that you have the best of both... That was so rude. Yeah, but until you realize you have the best of both worlds, you won't start to enjoy life like you have the best of both worlds. So just accept who you are and get to know and love your cultures. The sooner you'll have fun and the less harder things will be for you in your life. So I think ultimately it just has to do with being secure, not having insecurities, and not having to prove yourself to people. So I'm gonna forever identify as other. So I guess when people ask me what I mix with, I'm about to start saying other, because they don't give me the option to choose anyway. What are you? Other. I'm alien, okay? Unidentifiable. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm Filipino and black. And if you don't understand what that is, other. But y'all, that's my scoop and my tea on problems and struggles. My experience being a mixed kid, a multiracial girl, brown girl. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys have related. And if you take this offensive, I'm so sorry. It is not meant to be that way. It's only meant to spread love, positivity, and just reach out and relate to other people out there that are like me. If you're not like me, it doesn't even matter, because there was advice in here for you, for other people. So there goes knowledge and love and positivity. Nothing was meant to be harmful to anybody. I love any and everybody, no matter who and what you are. You can be alien like me and I don't care. I still love you. Anyways, but yeah, that was my take on it. That was my experience. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and please comment below your experience, if you're mixed, being mixed, or just anybody have any experience with being bullied about their race, anything. Comment down below. I would love to interact with you guys. I can get real serious right now, like on some real stuff. If you guys really need advice or really need help talking through this, I know it can be hard. There's more sensitive things that I've actually been through that I'm not going to say on camera because they're just inappropriate. But yes, I can relate to you on a serious level, and I will be more than willing to read the comments, give advice, and so forth. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Bye. Love you guys. See you later.